The case of the man accused of the abduction and murder of 8-year-old Tazne van Wyk has been postponed to the 17th of April at the Goodwood Magistrate Court in Cape Town. The National Prosecuting Authority says 54-year-old Moyhdin Pangarker appeared briefly at the Goodwood Magistrate Court in Cape Town earlier today. A large crowd gathered outside to show their support for the Van Wyk family. The magistrate prohibited the taking and publication of pictures of the suspect due to the sensitivity of the case. The suspect came into the courtroom with his face covered. Our reporter Mariska Botha earlier spoke to some members of the public outside the court.
We are at the Goodwood Magistrates Court in Cape Town, where there has been a huge crowd has gathered today, of course, for the appearance of a man in his 50s accused of the murder of 8-year-old Tazne van Wyk. It is believed that the man is allegedly or was allegedly out on parole when Tazne was killed, and he is a suspect today in court, and he will be appearing today at court. Yes. Of course, there has been a major outcry from communities across Cape Town about this, because as you might well remember, around a month ago, little Michaela Williams, who was 12 years old, was buried, and she was also murdered by a man allegedly out on parole for a similar violation. There's a lot of people around us. Let's see if we can chat to a few of them and see how they feel about what's going on today. People are obviously very angry. We're just going to pan down here. Ma'am, if you could just lift that poster for us so we can see what little Tazne looked like. We can just turn it. That's a picture of her. She was 8 years old, and her body was discovered 100 kilometers outside of Cape Town in a stormwater drain in Worcester. I see your t-shirt says you're from South African Women Fight Back. Maybe just lower that for us while we chat to you. Just tell us first of all shortly, what is your organization about?
We are there to protect the victims, to help them, also to go to Hope House if they need support. We're also there to support all the children, women and the girls. We go to court and we also petition, and also our petition is extremely strong to stop bail. Okay. Our main issue is to stop bail.
And what is your view as an organization about this? We've heard an outcry from people saying that the law needs to be looked at in terms of parole for certain offenders.
Well, the 16 promises that Ramaphosa promised us has not come about, and we now feel enough is enough. We've got a big march coming up on the 7th of March at Athlone Stadium at 10 in the morning, and we're going to do a human chain to the police station. We're going to have the motorbikers there as well. There's going to be, I think there are going to be thousands of people there. And we've also got another march in Corner Drysdale and Main Road, Bergfleet.
But what are you asking for with this protest march?
We're asking for Ramaphosa and the government to now come to the party. We really say enough is enough.
Thank you. And also we have some residents here. My colleague Clinton Surf will just be panning to the left here. They are actually residents from Elsie's River themselves, where little Tazne was born and raised. Ma'am, as a resident of Elsie's River, how do you feel about today's court appearance and about what happened?
Ek dink die government moet 'n slag uitkom, want die wat nou gebeur is mos nie nou net nou se ding nie. Hoeveel van ons kindertjies is doodgemaak hier en verkragt hier? Hulle kom nie uit nie, hulle daar's niks eskort vir ons kindertjies alle jare nie. Hoekom moet ons breinmense dan so swaar kry? Hoekom moet Elsies dan so swaar kry? Ek dink die handstraf moet weer terug aankom, van ons kinders word doodgeskiet, ons kinders doen word alle van ons kinders, ons word verkragt, en dan vergiet government, die polisie vergiet van ons, dan wil hulle vir ons aanran, ons rechte, ons kleinkindertjies.
The lady, of course, is saying that they feel that there is no support from government. They want government to come out stronger. And this lady is also saying that the death penalty should come back. and they feel that that is the only way that these kinds of crimes will come to an end. Let's see if we can speak to another resident, this lady here. Ma'am, tell me, why are you here today?
I am here not only to support the family. I am here as a community resident, so that for the people, so that our family can see that we as a community, we stand behind them. Yes. They are not alone in this, because we also have children, we have daughters, yes, and we are scared for our daughters, yes, to even go play outside. So we are here as a community to stand behind Tazne's parents.
Yes. Thank you very much, ma'am. These, of course, residents from Elsie's River themselves. There's an interesting poster, if my colleague can just pan to his left and your right. Let me just see the poster and read it for you. Mr. President, how do you sleep? We want justice because our kids is not safe. Bring the death penalty back. Rest in peace, Tazne. And it's from a group called Gatvol Cape Townians. Ma'am, why are you here today? What is your message to government?
My message to government is we all have kids. I'm so in tears because it's not my child. But tomorrow it can happen to my child. And I'm heartbroken for what happened to that little girl. It's not right, Mr. President. How do you sleep at night? While you're comfortable, people must go around and look for their kids, and you don't give a damn. So please, bring back the death penalty. That's all we're asking for. Please, Mr. President. Please.
We know in our constitution that the death penalty is not on the table. It's not being done in South Africa. But how do you feel about parole? What is
we don't want parole, because tomorrow he comes back, he do the same thing to our next child. It's not right.
How do you feel about this issue? How do you feel about this issue of it's alleged the person who murdered Tazne was out on parole for a similar violation? What is your views on that?
My views on that is the death penalty is the only thing that can come back. The death penalty is the only thing that can, and all the rapists that comes out, that person, people needs to get the death penalty. Because President, if you can't hear us, please hear our plea. This is our plea to you. Bring back the death penalty.
There you heard it. People have very, very strong opinions about what should happen and how situations like this should be handled. Of course, as I've said before, it's alleged this person was out on parole for a similar violation or that he was convicted of earlier. And of course, over a month ago, Michaela Williams also murdered by a person allegedly out on parole, also for similar violations. There has been an outcry. We heard yesterday from Tazne van Wyk's family saying that the issue of parole needs to be looked at, because if these kind of offenders come out, many of them, in many instances it seems, perpetrate the same crimes, and they feel very least the issue of parole for certain crimes, especially sexual offences, heinous offences, should be looked at.